the old fashioned. The old fashioned. Very good. Yeah. Oh. Try getting
Okay, I'm off work today because I'm pretty ill. But I thought the weather's really nice. It's kind of sunny out, so I thought I'd do some reviews. I've got these five Black Series figures on Saturday last. They're £10 each, so I got them at Toys R Us. I'm gonna start with C-3PO. And this is the version with the red arm, but for 10 quid you can't go wrong. It looks pretty cool. It's number 29 in the Black Series. C-3PO Resistance Base. There's another version with the silver leg. I don't know how easy that's going to be to track down in the UK, but for £10 this C-3PO will do. I've also got the Black Series C-3PO, the 3.75, which is the update of the vintage collection C-3PO. Really great figure, this one. Really nice detail. So let's have a look at this C-3PO now. So here's a good look at the C-3PO out of the box, just still in its plastic packaging. Looks really good. So today's Black Friday, so if you go to Toys R Us you might be able to find some of these. For £10 each, they're bargains. Figure looks great. Figure doesn't have articulation in the elbows, but it looks really good. Let's take it out of the box and have a better look. Here's a better look at C-3PO. You can see that it's nicely painted. There's a nice gold effect to the body. Articulation, I'll do that in a minute, but you've got a red arm here, as we see in episode 7. It's the back of the figure. So he's got a lot of wires here. On the other figure, the one you can get at Walgreens, I think in America, it's got different wiring, plus the silver leg and the gold arm. Figure looks great though. Such a classic, important character in Star Wars. And there's the red arm. Looks does look plasticky, but still nicely detailed. You can see the black on the underside there, black on the underside of this hand as well. A shame they couldn't put an elbow mechanism in. If they lost these, whatever you call these, but we will see. Nice detailing there. Or is that blemishes? No. Eyes are just painted, but looks effective. Definitely looks like C-3PO as seen in episode 7. Articulation is a ball jointed head which rotates up and down and swivels left and right. Ball jointed shoulders with rotation here on the shoulder plate. No movement in the elbows, but swivel wrists with up and down or back and forth movement. A torso that moves back and forth quite far. Legs that move this much forward and this far back. You've got rotation in the upper thigh. You've got bendable knees that move that far back and this far forward. And then you've got feet on a rocker joint that move forward and back as well. So overall it's not a bad figure. I mean, people are complaining about the elbows, eyes a bit, but overall, I mean, for £10 I'm happy with this figure. If I'd paid the full UK price of £23 I might have been a bit more less favourable with this figure. There's also a Disney Elite Series figure as well. So you can see how far you can move the head and back and forth. And it's a shame they didn't put an alternative arm in this, so you could just swap out the arm for a gold arm, and then this would look a lot more, you know, you'd have more options with this figure. But he looks pretty cool. Here's a chromed out child version of C-3PO from about 10 years ago. Hero series by Hasbro as well. Press this button here and the lights on his eyes go on. But it's quite a nice figure for displaying. And then you've got the Black Series Red Arm C-3PO and the original vintage figure from 81 with the removable limbs. So these two figures have a chromed effect. People would want that on this figure, but this plastic's a lot different to this sort of plastic here. This plastic's more durable than this sort of plastic. This is harder. It has to be harder for the chrome paint to be applied to it. So you have, if you wanted this figure chromed, you're going to have even less articulation and it's going to be more brittle, the figure. Same with this figure here. But you can see how the figure's evolved over the years. Okay. Pretty cool. This 3.75 Black Series figure is considered one of the best C-3POs. This has got the silver leg. It's got different wiring in the abdomen compared to the episode 7 C-3PO. It's got a lot of features, this C-3PO. It hasn't got these joints that mean that this figure doesn't have the bendable elbows. This one does away with those, but that means this one does have bendable elbows. It has a face plate, a chest plate, a leg plate. So this is a really great figure. So I don't see why they didn't just upscale this figure to the 6-inch format, because there are a lot of similarities between these two figures. Okay, so that's looking at different C-3POs. We want to get back to the Black Series. Here's C-3PO with all his pieces missing, taking off the panels. You can see the great detailing. Love this back panel there, and detailing around the waist is amazing. Just a great figure. And you know, it looks just top drawer. Head turns. What a great figure. C-3PO Black Series number 16. So here's a better look at the vinyl pop C-3PO from the new movie. Lovely gold finish to this figure, and he's got the red arm. Don't know how he got the red arm. Nice looking figure though, the chrome. This is a really nice figure. My camera's going to run out, but you know, just the detail on this figure is really great. C-3PO D3BO, so if you could ever track this packaging down, it might be worth picking up. And there's the com chip. This is continental European packaging, so it's not really well known, this type of packaging, but that makes it a variant, having that Italian name there, D3BO, and that's a nice looking figure. Okay, so episode 1, you can see that in the abdomen the wires are all nicely painted against the black costume. It's pretty cool. The torso moves back and forth quite nicely. But if you look at the arms, when they're like this, it looks kind of odd. can see that these top bits of the shoulder rotate as well. So the upper body is limited in how it can be posed because of the way the elbows are. So really you can have C-3PO like this. It's pretty cool though. If you've got the R2, I don't have the R2D2. That's a really hard one to get now. But it looks really cool, this figure. He looks really nice. There's the back of the figure. So you can move that a little bit back. You can see the back of the wires on the torso. So the figure looks pretty cool. Definitely looks like he's made of metal, even though he's made of plastic. This red arm would have done better if it had a nice light black wash over it. But these pistons, they look a bit... There's no way of articulating the pistons, so that's why... But they put the pistons in and sacrificed the articulation in the elbows. But the figure still looks really good. C-3PO Black Series. Looks pretty cool. I mean, I think even despite the figure's limitations, especially in the articulation, the figure's gonna do okay. Because he's such a key character. And he'll display pretty well. And you can see details on the legs and the back. So overall, it's a good figure. So this is the Black Series C-3PO number 29. It's an okay figure. I mean, it could... I mean, if it had elbow articulation, it'd be brilliant. But they've put these pistons here and that sort of precludes that. But I mean, I heard Mafex, they've got the pistons and they've got the elbows moving. So, you know, it can be done. But as a figure itself, it looks good, it looks the part. And I'm sure this or the original trilogy version you'll be pleased with overall. It's not a bad figure. So this is number 29, the Black Series. This is the Resistance-based C-3PO with the red arm. Okay, so cheers, bye. Okay, here's C-3PO Black Series with my my original vintage C-3PO with removable limbs from early 80s, definitely. You can see this figure is quite basic compared to this new C-3PO. Detailing is just, you know, so different. But they did get most of the features in, like, you know, bits of arm levers and this back panel there. They've both got the same sort of thing. Got that little hole in the back of the head which C-3PO has there. You know, sort of. Obviously this was based on the Fritz Lang Metropolis robot, the female robot. And, you know, can't remember her name. But here's the two C-3POs, Black Series then and now. I mean, vintage collection, well, not even vintage collection, real vintage. You can see this is vac metalized, which Hasbro did a lot with on a lot of figures, and I think they're trying to work that out for the Black Series 6-inch C-3PO. So, but I mean, even this figure put done in 6 inches would just be amazing. Okay, so there's your C-3PO. Shame about this leg plate that doesn't want to, you know, there's a little gap there. That's kind of annoying. But Can't have everything. Great figure, this Black Series C-3PO. And then we've got the original version. Okay, this is to show you how things have changed over the years. Okay, cheers, bye.